This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
It's the Russell Reed Show.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Reed joining me this evening. The beautiful Kimberly Toth. How are you doing, Kimberly?
I'm great, thank you.
And our special guest, Alden Morris, the tech of all techs, the computer tech of all techs. You got some exciting stuff that you got going on here, and we'll dive into that here in just a couple minutes. That we'll tease the people, let them build up to it. You were telling me about the last couple of days, and it's for my old bud. It's just but yeah, but you're going to get your shot to tell the world. You're going to be the next Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all of them. So I can say you were here first. Some local news. We got a lot of people that moved out of town, like you came from LA and all that. It just came down the wire just a few hours ago. No big surprise that Ariel Castro was given a plea agreement, and story has it they think he's going to take it. They're going to give him it, what the plea is the next couple days, because he's sitting at 977. That's 977 charges, including aggravated murder, kidnapping, and rape, as we all know. Basically, what they're going to take, the whole idea is to take murder off the table, give them life, because no one wants the girls to go through what they went through again. That's just why relive all that. And on the other criminal case, the juice, OJ is trying to get loose a little bit here and down in Vegas. He was it was about 6-7 years ago. Mm-hmm. He went to get his memorabilia back, and unfortunately, he didn't exactly say, "Mother, may I?" I believe there was a gun involved or a knife or something, so he got robbery and 2 counts of kidnapping. And they were not running concurrent, meaning he has to do each an individual sentence to the length instead of combining them all. So I believe the robbery is up, and if they let him out early, he still stays in. Then he has to serve one of the kidnappings. Then when that's up, he has to serve the other kidnapping. So it doesn't look like OJ's going anywhere very, very fast. The one story I saw on Facebook I really liked. Come on. Nothing ever works. There we go. A 19-year-old Floridian boy born without legs made a huge wave last week when he caught a 250-pound lemon shark from his wheelchair.
How does it even happen?
What
is a lemon shark?
A lemon shark is a shark that it's a yellowish, brownish tint to it.
Okay.
And he said that's a memory that I'll be able to keep forever. Matt Seacrest. I wonder if he's related to
Ryan?
Yeah, I hope not. Seacrest, told the St. Augustine Record that's a special moment that I could use just one more thing on my resume of things that I've done. The magic moment happened off of Willow Beach with the help of 4 others. I guess Dad, when he hooked it, Dad strapped on, pulled it a little bit. Then some other people gave it to him after he wore the shark down and held onto his wheelchair because, it could drag him into the surf.
It could have been worse. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the cool part, they took a picture of it, and then they released it. And I was sitting there going, you released the shark. But doing some research. The lemon shark, since 1580, has only had known of 22 shark attacks.
Wow.
And none of them were fatal. So it's kind of like a nurse shark. They just,
little.
hover down below and just mind their own business, and someone snags them. But doing even a little bit more research, the scientists love them because they're so elusive, they're hardly ever seen, and for some reason they just want to study this because I guess it's big, but not deadly like some of the other ones.
So did they let him go?
They let him go.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of ironic how they let the creature go. Pending that.
Would you have let him go?
I probably would have kept the
Yes.
shark, or I would have at least tried to put him in some type of aquarium where we could have studied him. It sounds like a rare shark. I've actually never heard of this shark.
Yeah, there's so many of them out there.
Is there? Okay.
I mean, there are hundreds.
Wow, I've never heard of it.
And I mean, it's just, you got those, you got the great white, everybody's heard of, the mako, which is just about as friendly as the great white, a bull shark, which is probably the biggest pain in the butt because I forget the name of it, but it could go freshwater or it could go saltwater. It could bounce.
Okay.
And they all like to eat anything that's around them. So it's one of those, nasty little thing. Well, not the lemon
I'm
shark.
not like.
Hope they don't get into Lake Erie, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not all PETA and everything, but I'm a huge animal advocate. So
Yeah.
I feel bad when I eat sushi. Like I'm one of those people.
You won't eat sushi.
Oh, I will, but I feel
okay.
bad about it for about 30 seconds.
Okay, until you hit the wasabi,
And then I go face down in the tuna.
Now, I've always had this kind of crazy revelation that what if we potentially, and people may call me crazy, if we took endangered species and we maybe put them in some place like Alaska, and we kind of made a huge conservation of multiple species that come across from multiplexical areas in the United States and abroad in the world. And if we were to bring these species to maybe a place like Alaska, we could conserve an environment for where really people can go in the world and see all of these animals in one given region. And because, believe it or not, lions can survive even in Africa in colder temperatures. And maybe even providing them an external different environment can really help, I think, from a natural element of evolution, the expansion of the species and how they survive, and also on how we view the species. And we have these animals kind of conserved all throughout the world. I think it's a good idea to bring these animals to a place where they can all kind of come together and we can see an environment of different types of species. And I think it'd be wonderful. It'd kind of be like going to a safari. And
I mean, there's so much out there that we haven't even seen.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's some weird looking fish that get pulled up from the depths. I mean, someone posted something the other day. It was purple and had like little horns.
Wow.
And they said, I've never seen this. Oh, it's good with the little lemon butter and all that. But there's so much out there. And, I just came back from Massillon, Ohio, last night, doing a photo shoot for a calendar I'm putting together. And down the road, I'm going to get them on film and do it's called Stump Hill Farm.
Okay.
It's a rescue village, if you would, for exotic pets. And now, I should not say exotic pets. Forgive me for exotic animals.
Okay.
Tigers, lions, bears. They have a camel, otters, lizards of all shapes and sizes, bald eagle, falcons, bobcats. They've been seen by just about everybody. They make frequent appearances on the Today Show, Letterman, Leno. The Dos Equis commercial, when the world's most interesting man, you had a panther climbing around.
Yeah.
Well, he's down there.
Okay.
Several years ago in the Super Bowl commercial, that big tiger blocking the beer, he's down there.
Is it open already?
It's open already. It's been around for 25 years.
Is it open to the public?
Open to the public.
Wow.
He takes, and the amazing part about it, we've all been to zoos. Mm-hmm. That's how close you get. I mean, you get very close.
Now, question, maybe I'm reading this wrong. This isn't where, because I've seen on the Jay Leno show where they'll bring in animals and they'll show the animals.
They do that.
They do that, okay, because
Yeah.
I do see them. Yeah, I mean, they'll bring in, mountain lions to monkeys, yeah.
Yeah, and all of them have stories. And the most, I just love talking about it because last night was the slickest thing because, all of a sudden we're walking out and the one wolf starts to bay. Then you always hear the birds.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You hear everything. Then Big Boy made his roar.
Did you see that it was just really announced the past few days that Sam Simon, who was one of the, I don't want to say creators of The Simpsons, who has colon cancer,
Ooh.
is donating his fortune to one of the charities is feeding stray animals.
Very cool. Very cool.
Wow. Wow.
Speaking about stray animals, well, we'll get to that. First of all, we all want to make a world record, correct? If we had the opportunity to make a world record, this is one we don't want to have. Well, I guess you would, because no one could ever beat it. The only way you could beat it is, watch me butcher this name, Celestino Sanchez Velasquez has set the new world record. He's 112 years old.
Wow. Wow.
He has, let me see, he has a 76-year-old son, 69-year-old daughter. He also has 7 grandchildren, 15 great-grandchildren, and 5 great-great-grandchildren.
Where does he live? I'm assuming not, with that name, I'm assuming he's not in
He
Denmark.
is of Spanish heritage. He was born in Spain in 1901. He immigrated to Cuba in 1918, where he reached Ellis Island in 1920, and he worked in Lynch, Kentucky. Now he's up in Niagara Falls.
Wow.
Interesting. I was reading a long time ago about the kind of the aging of a human being, and there was this thing in sort of molecular engineering and kind of amongst top researchers in the fields of science that we can increase the age of life by freezing the organs and freezing blood cells. And I wanted to do something like that to where we can eventually freeze the process of life, where basically these cells are coated in a type of maybe not so much anti-freeze, but a freezing coat that slows the process of aging down. And it's sort of like if you were to stick an organ kind of in a bucket of ice, that organs preserve longer. And it's a really phenomenal process that science is advancing on. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I have relatives that live close to 100, and it was whiskey every night.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's my grandfather lived, I
That's
believe, to be like 94, 95.
Okay.
Sausage, bacon.
whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm going with the whole whiskey
Yeah.
theory.
I mean, everything you're not supposed to eat, he ate every day.
Interesting.
I just think it's a lot of it's got to do with genes or something.
Right.
Now, Alden, explain your theories of technology.
Well, I started to think about technology when I had got into the role of kind of wanting to be an inventor and an innovator and kind of contributing towards, I think, this historic element of advancing the sciences, the humanities, and the arts through the idea of technology. And as I sat around and I learned in my life, because I wanted to be a politician, I realized that there's so much opportunity in technology. And I begin to think more on the theories and the things that can be done through technology. And I begin to see that we're moving into an era of where computers are now going to be in space, where things are going to be projected through holograms, and where things are going to be projected through the utilization of space, such as charging batteries, like electromagnetic batteries. And these are things I want to kind of begin to contribute to create towards my technological company, which I won't give the name yet because it's not trademarked and I want to protect it. But my idea is to create an operating system that can scan the body through holographic UV imaging, where you can sit at home and basically through X-ray-like imaging, the body can shape up every organ in your body and present back to you through a voice assistant showing you an animation. So for example, let's say I have heart disease or I'm having heart palpitations. This scanner that you can get from our operating system through our hardware can scan your body and can read back to you the exact diameter and geometrics of your organs and tell you what's exactly going on. From even scanning your blood, eventually to selling to medical providers so that we can scan out cancer and we can watch the functions of cancer and HIV and retroviruses replicate and act inside the human body. And this all has to do with the idea of utilizing what I would call space and the potential in holographic imaging, because radio frequencies and frequencies go straight through the body and we can send information straight through the body. I mean, our brain waves are connected. You know how they say, well, hey, don't speak your thoughts because if you put them out into the universe will take them. Well, that's true because we do have brain waves and our brain waves are connected. And I wanted to also create a technology through the operating system of where we can take brain waves and we can read your thoughts and your thoughts can appear up on the screen.
That scares the shit out of me. I don't want to know what anybody is thinking at any time.
But this would advance for blind blind people. For
Yeah.
blind people who can't use
Right.
computers, they can communicate.
And it's funny
yeah.
you said that because we were talking before the show and all that, and just now, was it 48 hours, 60 minutes,
Okay.
something, one of those shows.
When they weren't doing a show on the royal baby.
Right,
Which
yeah.
was-
But they were taking quadriplegics, drilling into their skull a computer chip, hooked it up, and they had robotic arms. So they could think. The arm would move, open, just through brain waves.
Wow.
And so it was, only a few people had it, but it was a major thing coming out of their head. But they said one time they want to have a computer chip in there for them. So
I've always oh, my bad. Good.
no, I was just going to, so what you said about the brain waves.
Yeah, very similar. I have always believed, though, that because I see the brain as sort of this divine organ, this organ that really, I think, is the appreciation of knowledge and of understanding and our conceptual understanding of life, is that we shouldn't really go into it. And our brain is such a phenomenal machine that we can take our brain and it acts as a muscle and we can train it to do things. And there is a possibility that I think through my tech company that we'll be able to take the human brain and program viruses inside the brain without potentially having to use chips, where we can use the electromagnetic energy that comes from your brain cells, maybe through neurons, that can go down through your spine and scan your body itself. It's how we can utilize the brain to be a computer itself without ever having to enter the brain. So, for instance, you think of a virus inside your head and you say AIDS. And your brain is programmed to understand the virus of AIDS, right? You program your brain through the engineering of how your cells would potentially communicate to your spine, okay? And through biomolecular engineering, when your brain reads this, it could potentially send out enough information so that your cells can recognize retroviruses without you ever having to go to the doctor and get another vaccine or, pardon me, another treatment. Your brain is now programmed with this treatment inside of it to know how to do it. It's sort of like...
Interesting.
And you're a political science major.
Yeah.
Where do you go to school, Alden? Like, where do you...
Well, I'm leaving Cleveland State.
Uh-huh.
I'm leaving Cleveland State because there wasn't the culture for what I wanted to do, and for my level of thinking was different, and it wasn't really understood. And so I wanted to go down to Ohio State, and that's where I'm going to transfer to. I don't know if I'm going to finish. I really don't want to finish college. I want to find a team of engineers, industrial designers, and product designers.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in Brunswick, Ohio.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Very. And
Yeah.
I could see the political science eloquent and precise and right on point. You're just firing. It's like there's a politician in there.
right now. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 22.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, so
it's amazing.
right.
Right.
How we think when we're about the same age.
Yeah,
right?
and
Yeah.
you are a compliment to people your age because you listen to them, and it's just sagging pants, slang this, slang that.
Right.
I have not met a 22-year-old as articulate as you, and to be on point and know exactly what you want to do is just amazing. I commend you for that because it's. There aren't many 22-year-olds that know, what they want and how to communicate how you're going to.
And I wanted to say that the importance, in being 22, especially being born in the 1990s in a generation of where technology was on the rise and kind of, innovation was on the rise and the internet began to really be going into its boom and the revolution became in the idea of computing, is that we begin to see that institutions kind of eliminated the idea of imagination and the importance that one's creativity that we all harness be stopped by what institutions want us to learn, and we end up conforming and we end up going a certain way. And I think we all and every one of us lies an innate ability to see beyond, and it's the idea that if you allow that fear to stop you to see beyond, you will never see beyond. You will always see within a set of rules that conform you, that contain you. And my striving was to look at life and to look at life with a vision and to implement that vision and to believe in that vision. And only in America can you dream a dream before it's a dream and it becomes a dream.
Damn.
But I also think that there are people that don't think as logistically as you do, that also have the same visions,
right,
but not so phonetically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Explain to me phonetically. It's very. I'm sorry. I like that word though.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I mean, I think there are a lot of creative people, like perhaps Steve Jobs, who would not come on a radio show and be so detailed as to what their vision is. So, amazing what you just said, But I think there's also a lot of
aloofness.
That people, like, you could sit, people don't understand what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do is put everything into layman's terms, if you will, so people understand what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Right.
I called a guy from. No, you're absolutely right. You know, and I've dealt with that. You guys being a little bit older than me, you guys have had the experience in life to have gone through different scenarios. But my peers often they say, "Well, Alden, you know, what are you discussing with us? You know, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit out there." And I've been this way since a child. I'd walk around in my backyard for hours with a leaf, and I'd think all day. I've wrote 500 pages of quotes, and I continue to write.
As we recorded songs on our we have to like press play and record.
Yeah, he's writing philosophy in the backyard.
We're like, wait, hold on, they're talking over our first song.
Yeah, it's like,
rewind.
Scooby-Doo's on in 10 minutes.
He's
He's writing 500 pages of philosophy. Yeah, just a little bit different.
Right.
But you're absolutely right, though. You know, I mean, it's that trying to get people to understand. So I realize that you get people to understand when you can show them an image. I realize that just showing somebody an image and allowing your creativity to leave your body and beginning to express it, it's sort of like when you look at a blank shirt. A lot of things that are more plain and more simple, believe it or not, open up our imagination because it's not so cluttered. It's kind of like listening to music. When you hear music and you don't hear without lyrics, you kind of are not used to it. You kind of say, well, why? There's no lyrics in the music, and your brain begins to develop and you begin to purchase ideas and you begin to put things in the context of that sound, and then you become an artist. And that's the idea, is that to take something blank and to sit in a room by yourself and to think and to continue to think, you'll develop a mind that you've never known, and you'll unhatch the pinnacle of creativity. It's phenomenal.
Now, if you were born in the 60s.
60s, right.
Yeah. Do you think you'd have the same thoughts you were having now? Because being born in the 90s, you know, once your brain's always developing. But once you hit the 2000s, you know, technology, you got Wi-Fi, you got everything that we're trying to learn.
Everything's so electronic now, if you will. Like the Beatles or, you know what I mean, like the Rolling Stones or Frank Zappa didn't have that knowledge. And this is me coming from a music background, if you will. Okay. And I used to own my own company in the music business. And for me, I mean, we didn't have this knowledge or this technology. So for me, it was a complete visual demographic. Like I had to see what my target audience was to create what I did, which was very successful.
And that's awesome. I think that that's phenomenal. I think that because you were able to not have to use, you know, the manufacturing of tools that other men had created, that you allowed your mind to be that machine. And I try to do the same thing. I try myself to eliminate myself from getting so caught up in the elements of technology assisting me, as far as assisting things that I already know. I want technology to assist me in things that I want to know, you know, and I want to discover and use it as that route. Now, being born in the 60s, you know, I've always believed that there's this design in life, and life is orchestrated in a certain way. You know, there's, you know, in Thomas Edison's generation, he came up and he kind of built the stones for the Bill Gates and the Steve Jobs. And I believe Steve Jobs has built kind of the stones for the next generation of inventors and thinkers. And it's by design that kind of that's how the world works, is that without Steve Jobs, had maybe I not been able to think about the ideas of technology, and had without Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs may have not been to think about the ideas of the basic computer and the Macintosh. There's a fundamental building block in the human species, and I call it this idea of evolution, that we're continuing to advance. And that's my theory. And you guys want to?
Well, I was going to say, one day you're going to be your parents. I mean, I hit that. I hit that when they said, they give you a call. Oh, we don't know how to set the VCR. We don't know how to set the microwave.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's computer. Now I'm calling my nieces, my nephew. How do you do this?
Right.
So there's it's always something's always new coming up, and
absolutely
and that's, you know, I know I could get on a computer, I could get to my Facebook account, I could get to my emails, and I could surf a little bit, but as far as anything else, know nothing. I don't know how many kilobytes are in a megabyte, how many megabytes are in this and other. I mean, you know, your generation. How many megabytes are in a terabyte?
To be honest, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I've never looked into it. I'm more of a visionary kind of thinker. So a lot of the technical, electrical kind of stuff, I really utilize my imagination. I'm kind of somebody that says, listen, I know enough about technology and I look into technology, but the more complex it is the more unnecessary it is.
And so you know what you want, and you're going to explain what you want, and you're going to build your organization around the people that can facilitate what you're trying to do.
Exactly, and still using technological language, but not things that are unnecessary that I think are kind of already innate. Megabytes and terabytes are things that I wouldn't necessarily need to know, but I can also give an idea on how to maybe potentially increase that memory and how to utilize that memory.
Hey, Russell.
Yes.
Just to answer your question, it's 104,857.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I knew that. So.
Yeah, I just know it holds a lot of music. That's all I know.
And we need to develop, in my operating system, I want to develop sort of like an operating system that utilizes teaching kids how to code websites and how to actually build their own websites and how to actually code software and how to understanding the meanings of a computer. The same way that kind of you have websites that teach students how to learn and how to read.
But then where do kids learn how to ride a bike? Like, where do they, you know what I mean? Like, our generation, like, I feel like, no disregard to what you're saying.
No, go ahead. No, absolutely.
And I'm older than probably most of us here. But
I got you beat.
Oh, you do? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
By about 4 years.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys don't like, I didn't, you guys like don't really
I'll be 41 in a few weeks. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I'll be 41.
No way.
Yes, 41. Woohoo.
Well,
So.
still got you.
Right.
But no, but you're right. My buddy Dan Richards made the best quote on Facebook I've ever seen about youth. You grew up with your Xbox, PS3s,
Right.
and that helped your imagination soar to different levels, the visual. I got the Tonka truck and the sandbox. And if I didn't have an imagination, if one of those were taken away, I'm screwed.
Right, you had to think. Well,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with and it was our technology where it'd be summertime and you'd have to you want to record a Rick Springfield song and you'd have the video cassette. You'd be like, play, wait, pause, because the DJ was talking over, which at that point, working in the music business, it was a licensing issue, which we didn't know when we were 6. But you'd have to pause and hold and pause and hold. We had our own set of technology.
And what you're explaining is just...
It's right, it's... But I have to say, there's
You'll be at work going, I forgot to TiVo
right.
The Walking Dead.
Right. Oh.
They're done.
But you know what's interesting?
That thought is just
Now what do we
scary.
What is scary to me, and it might be completely irrelevant, but
No.
I find, coming from a family that have passed away from cancer,
Right.
I find that people who find out that they have terminal illness seem to go downhill quickly. It's almost a mental, I'm sick, I don't want to live in, I'm going to fight this. So I almost feel like people that have this super gene, if you will, or scan to find out that they're sick, that their mentality will kind of lower. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see where you're going.
You know what I mean?
What she's trying to say is, there'll be a chip in the if you have a disease or an illness, automatically will start healing it.
Right.
And having
That's
that
not
thought
gonna
process.
happen. If I found out that I have cancer way before I would have had I gone to a normal doctor. If you can't cure that, I don't want to know that I have cancer.
Well, here's
10
sort of
years
like the
early.
old-
I know it's gonna be controversial, but
what would happen?
that's-
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, sort of like the old episodes of Star Trek.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't watched much of Star Trek. I don't watch much.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all in our 40s,
Right,
so
right.
we're hitting.
We're in our 40s. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's
we're
fine.
hitting shows.
Right.
Let's see. Put in relative.
Star Trek was around when I was around, when you're around. So,
Yeah, he's only 22.
Oh.
He's got
Chris,
the
are you
new
the same-
generation.
Are you the same age as we
Yeah,
are?
we're all in our
Yeah.
40s.
Okay.
Soon Toy Story will be the new Star Trek.
Exactly.
What's Toy Story,
Yeah.
But Toy Story is so much happier than Star Trek.
I wanted to go back to your comment, though, about, my company is going to scan the body. We're going to have a biomolecular engineering lab. I want to cure the HIV and AIDS virus by re-engineering the immune system. I want to also contribute to medicine and creating this thing called CD4 viral, which will basically form your CD4 cells in a totally different way. And I won't go into it right now because it's a lot to talk about. But, however, our system would also provide animated solutions and opportunities to how to cure your disease. We wouldn't just show you the disease. We're only going to program diseases in there and show you it on an animated system of what the disease is doing, while also providing options on what could be possible for a cure. We're going to be working on some of the advancements in cancer and retroviruses and how to basically reform the understanding. But see that we got a commercial.
Yeah, save that. That will come right back. We'll be back in about 8 minutes. You're listening to the Russell Reed Show. And if you got any questions, comments, 888-668-0742. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. The following message is for those with a credit score of 800 and below. Who wouldn't want better credit? Did you ever wonder how different life would be from just having a higher credit score? Are you tired of being turned down for any kind of loan or only offered high interest rates because your credit score is holding you prisoner? Life doesn't have to be that way anymore with access to Turnscor. By increasing your credit score only 50 to 100 points, it can potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over just a 5 to 10 year period. It can be the difference in getting approved for a personal loan, business loan, high limits on credit cards, a brand new car lease, or even a home mortgage. We see so many ads from companies that give us our credit score, but once we get our credit score, what are they going to do to actually repair your credit? Unfortunately, nothing. Until now, Turnscor is the first automated credit repair platform that is simple, safe, and secure. You'll be empowered right from the comfort of your own computer, so you can challenge and repair your credit report to ensure it's fair and accurate. Turnscor is specifically developed with you in mind. There's no more need for an attorney, credit repair companies, or credit counseling. More importantly, no more need for paying higher fees. Turnscor will help you get back on track and get the buying power you need. So whether you have bad credit, average credit, or even good credit, Turnscor is helping turn lives around one credit score at a time. Go to turnscor.com and enter the promo code MSC20 and get $20 off your purchase. That's TURNSCOR.com. 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 Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 99.5% uptime guarantee and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Hey, local bands and unsigned artists, what if I told you there was a place in Cleveland where you can get your merch made and have it sold in one location? What if I said you could bring your CDs and tickets to upcoming shows to this location? And what if I said you could do live acoustic sets at this location? I bet you're thinking there's no such place in Cleveland. Guess what? You'd be wrong. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland, and tell him you need merch made and you want to sell it in his store. Now, how cool is that? You can tell your fans to come down and get your stuff, and I think he'd ship your products to your fans. And he's local. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland today. 216-622-0377. That's 216-622-0377. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on Msc Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Heat 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. Call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
I can almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Right from the start, you were a thief, you stole my heart.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Russell Reed. With me is Kimberly Toth and the technological genius, Alden Morris. We're talking about technology in the 21st century. I was thinking, I guess that it'll be a long time before it gets to the 22nd. But Detroit is $12.2 billion in debt. Filed bankruptcy. Now, what you want to do, when it happens, what will that do for the economy of Cleveland or the city in which you would want to put it in? I mean, how many jobs would that? I mean, it's just okay. Let me start over. People going into college. My niece just graduated high school, going to Kent State. Would it behoove her to get into the technology field rather than something different?
Absolutely not. I mean, technology is its own field, and we need other people to contribute to other fields. I mean, you can't, it's the utilization of technology and its execution of technology. And those are two different things in itself. But then you kind of go into somebody else who maybe wants to help little kids and wants to be a teacher, or somebody who wants to be an accountant.
Yeah, I meant as far as jobs coming out of...
Would it behoove her?
Yeah, because when I graduated high school, every guidance counselor in this world pushed everybody at education.
Right.
Flooded the field of education to where not many people are teaching now. They're doing other things. Do you see technology being that everything, because of the computers, you need this, you need that, go into the field of technology?
Eventually I do. I don't know if I can see in any foreseeable future that our generation is going to end up having to suffice to the agreement that they're going to have to do something that advances some type of aspect of technology as far as knowing how to utilize advanced technology. Down the future, yes. I was talking to my grandfather the other day sort of about this. I work at Dave's Supermarket right now in stock, and I'm always thinking around the store on how to make the store more advanced.
Can I interrupt? What did your grandfather do for a living?
My grandfather, he never graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. He just was a painter here in Cleveland for the city. He painted civil public buildings, and very, very enlightened guy, but his life was, more so, I think, accommodating to his generation. You leave high school, or maybe you don't have to go to high school. He's around 80 years old. But
he has great stories, though.
Yeah.
I mean, your grandfather would tell me, when my grandmother had left him, he walked from Atlanta to Cleveland to get back with her. And it's one of the most ambitious things ever. Mm-hmm. But back to your idea that, should jobs go towards, technology, and is that what's going to eventually happen? Yes, eventually machines in many ways are going to replace the functions that we see today that otherwise human beings do.
And people have to fix them and do all that. I mean, it's, you think $12 billion of debt,
That's a lot.
You want to make sure that your city never has that happen.
Right.
And just, we're doing the best that we can to get people in here. And I think, technology, it's kind of primarily based on the West Coast and the Silicon Valley.
Are you going to stay in
that.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Well, Cleveland, and I see where you're trying to go with this about Cleveland and kind of its role as far as being an innovative city, and what should we be doing to attract more people here to make our city more advanced and more lucrative for people to want to start tech firms and more advanced type of industries here in Cleveland.
Thank you. You said it a lot better than I did.
Cleveland isn't, unfortunately, because of the generational wrath of power we have right now, which hasn't necessarily been in the genre of technology, it's not an attractive option for people who are going into technology right now. Now, maybe for somebody like my brother who's 13, it'll be an attractive option because technology will be more, vulnerable. It'll be more on the market. But right now, no, I don't see that. And Cleveland has a lot of opportunities to utilize technology and to advance the city. However, I think that the creative culture in Cleveland right now, the generation was never cultivated as much as our generation is because of the tools that we use today.
And one of the questions that was written down, flash drives being replaced by operating systems that store information in clouds.
So basically, this was an idea that my company will create a card that can store all your information on it. We will eventually gain contractual agreements with third-party manufacturers to make their hardware compatible with our cards, to where you can stick this information in on a card, sort of like a flash drive, and our operating system pulls up. It just doesn't store information. It actually stores our whole operating system.
And don't you think that's where the medical industry is going to go? Instead of filling out paperwork, you're going to have everything is downloaded.
Absolutely. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, had that problem. They had but I've always said it's only good for who puts it in there. I mean, not many people in this world ask for a medical bill. I'm calling every day because I want to get it taken care of.
Right.
Have we got it? Well, we mailed it out. Right. Don't have it. And they totally butchered my address. And I feel sorry for the people getting all these bills. But, I mean, everything was done right on that, and someone just got the paper mixed up. Now, with your system down the road, you wouldn't have to type anything. Is that?
You wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't have to type anything. once you store this on the card, it would pull up. Now, to add information on there, whether you're using our holographic operating system that's projecting internet to the air, you would type onto that. But it's going to store all of your data on one card that you can plug into third-party manufacturers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the holographic
hologram.
Hologram.
And it could be holographic.
Yeah, it would be for people our age who went and saw Iron Man 3.
Similar, yes.
Throws the little cue balls on the thing, and the whole room is a big image of his brain and neurons firing and all that. That's what
like
you're...
Tupac at Coachella.
Yeah.
For those youngsters.
Yeah. So that's what you're aiming to do. Just no more monitors, no more iPads, just, what you kind of like the stuff Iron Man does. It's on the glasses and it's right there, and you just move it with your hands, and you don't need a mouse or anything.
Correct. And eventually we would have it where we maybe even would sell picture frames that project hologram imaging, so that instead of actually having to have a picture, your picture would be projected in a beautiful HD display. And so you could feel that picture, and it would be, you could put your hand even potentially through it. And also even maybe famous paintings will eventually be done in hologram-like technology.
I don't think that'll ever happen. Ever. I don't, because you know what? We don't have enough time. But I was an art dealer as a hobby and dealt with high-profile clients. Mm-hmm. And there are some people that just...
Yeah,
they're not going to do it. I mean,
but
maybe like when their great-great-grandchildren are taking over their paintings, and they want to put them in storage and preserve them.
I see where Alden's going with this. They will there'll be images of copies. They want,
Well, I actually want to make it so where they can actually through fiber optic coloring, video recording projectories that project videos and small minuscule cables, so that we can get thousands of colors, which is going to run on our operating system. It's going to be called Banana Design, and it's going to be like a Photoshop. And in this operating system, you can actually paint in open space. You can actually paint beautiful images in open space, and I think it'll be phenomenal. That painting can forever be stored. You don't got to worry about it deteriorating. You can put it in museums. You can save it on the flash drive on our drives.
And the amazing part is there are people listening to go, kid's crazy. But if you watch the movies and all that, it's being, they did it in the movies, which means someone's thought about it, and there's a conceptual idea to do it, and you're going to come around and make that a reality, because you're going to get the right people and do it, because you're going to take it a step farther than what you see, and
absolutely,
it's just one of those. If you see it in a movie, you've always thought
it can happen.
It could happen.
Right.
It just takes someone, like a Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates or somebody, to get the right people in place, sell the idea. This is the image. This is what I want to do.
I don't even think it's about selling. I think it's about just evolution of happening. I don't think you're ever going to find...
It's wonderful that you're not
going to find a museum that's going to be sold on it. I think it's just going to happen.
Right.
It's not...
Correct.
It's just...
And then we also want to have it so that through hologram imaging, you can actually feel the person you're talking to. So let's say
see my hologram.
Your girlfriend or your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever your companion is abroad, or maybe isn't home, and you want to pull up because you have one of our devices. That device, through electromagnetic like technology, you'll be able to actually feel that person's hand.
You can't have sex with that person. So.
Well, we wouldn't take it that far, but we could develop it to be that. We would.
Right.
Yeah.
That just puts a whole nother, job description out for a lot of people.
Right.
But it's
holographic porn. I see a future in that.
You would.
I would.
I mean, potentially. I guess you can get
the thing is, your idea would have to go through him, because he's going to hold all the licensing.
Right.
And a business just got made in a very...
We're not going to patent. I don't believe in huge corporate governance. I believe that if a business is going to be great, there needs to be competitors. And my goal is to invest in people who will actually compete against me. Because if you don't want all the best people on your team, because why? Because if you do, there's no competition out there. Then you eventually settle. And as part of continuing your legacy, you need to have something that can be long-lasting under the idea that there's competitors. And competition is a great thing, because you're constantly having to out-innovate the other person. And that's what makes things go around. Apple's patenting up the industry. Microsoft has literally ran a monopoly across the whole world as software engineers. And we need to change that so that we can make it more accessible for new entrepreneurs to come up and say, hey, listen, there's a diverse opportunity of choices. It's sort of like the healthcare market. I even thought that maybe it'd be a potential good idea to offer our customers a type of health. For every maybe 3 objects that they purchase, we'll offer them maybe $500 in prescriptions, fillings, things like that, so that we can, and maybe build hospitals down the road. There's...
I'm seeing internet radio getting better with this technology, because then they can reach in reach right through and smack Russell in the face. You know?
Russell wouldn't even have to be here. It would just be his hologram.
Right.
Yeah. They just have a glit, a glit, a glit, a glit, a glit, a glit. Damn thing's skipping again. But it's just...
Russell could be on the toilet doing the show, and, you know, and at home, and it just be a hologram of him.
That's like, very hold on for a second. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. It just opens up the imagination of what could be.
Absolutely.
And that's the amazing part is someone your age came up with this and is so articulate about expressing how it's going to be and know exactly what you want to do, how it's going to go, what you need, because, you know, there's a gap of generations that are just dumbasses. And they just, I don't want to call them slackers, but they just job to job to job, have no motivation, you know, sleep in as late as they can, rush to work. And, you know, here you are writing philosophy and have...
Are you working anywhere, Alden? Excuse me.
Yeah, I work at a stock market, or no, my bad, I stock groceries.
Oh, you're at Dave's. That's right.
Dave's,
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daydream all day and get in trouble for it.
Yes.
But to have that goal, which is just incredible, and you're going to go down to Ohio State, and you're going to enroll just to keep fulfilling.
There you go. I'm going to enroll in my current political science classes, but while I'm doing it, I'm going to be building a team of 18 I want like 3 software engineers and industrial designers and electrical engineers. And I can see it happening. I can already see it within the vision that this is going to happen, that we are going to build the next greatest tech company in America and in the world. But there's a really important concept that I want people to understand is that it isn't a goal, it's an obligation. It's that to deliver your abilities to the world so that you can show them something different. This is a burden. This is something that I feel I have no other choice but to do. And I must live my life to deliver that, or I would have failed in what could have been. And we need to live our lives for that kind of obligation. People go out and say, you know, it's my goal to go here or to do this or to do that. I look at it as an obligation, as if you have to serve something. And that's what we're all born for. We're all born to serve a purpose. And if we can understand that we are here with no other choice, we will enlighten ourselves with our obligations.
Her wheels are just spinning with those quotes. She's like, I wish I had a pen to write some of these down.
No,
That's just impressive, just to be able to, you know, and why not political science?
Well, because politics isn't genuine. You know, I see a lot of, you know, political motivated laws and crimes and charges disgust me. And our political system, I feel, needs to be more direct participant with, you know, a democratic process where the people have a bigger say in just electing our officials. I believe there needs to be a balance between the people and the government. The arrogance of government has overstretched, in my opinion. And politics isn't something where you can genuinely say something that you want and mean it, because if you don't, you won't have a job. And that's the evil of our political system. And it's not something I want to participate in. And it's not something that brings out the greatest of ingenuity.
And whenever there's something good that will help the world, politics gets in the way. They like to put rules, regulations in there because it almost seems like they don't want anybody to succeed. How are you going to counteract that to make sure that your vision is what your vision is going to be without any outside influences trying to make it harder to get if you need this one little device and you can't get the patent for it, and you know you're having battles, what would you do to overcompensate to get that done with, you know, because you know politics is going to get involved one way or the other.
Sure. You know, I like to say that I have the ally of imagination, and I'll just come up with a new idea.
Okay.
And I'll just build something different, and I'll do it a different way. And if that way they don't want done or they don't like, we'll come up with something different. We're going to form the greatest team, and there's going to be a team that they can't deny. And if they do deny, humanity loses one step. And that's going to be the hostage that we're going to hold the government to, and we're going to also hold the people who want to politicize with us as far as which way we want to go or which way we don't want to go, and try to gain control on our own industry. This is a world that should be free of expression, and people should be able to use their creativity to push our species forward. And those that create regulations will only hinder our environment. And that's an important understanding that I have and commitment.
And she's just like, damn! No, damn being a good thing. Just heavy. I mean, you do a lot of thinking, stocking the shelves. So, and 10 years from now, you're ready to launch. Where are you going to base it out of?
Well, I'm hoping that this happens in the next 2 years. I'm not going to give away. I want to create a product. The idea is to create more simple and realistic products right now that can create, great capital so that I can get the bigger and idealistic ideas then into place. So things got to kind of happen in a smaller way. So I got a couple of engineering products I want to create that can create a great deal of profit. We can get great principal investors. And the next,
how are you doing on the investor part of it?
Well, I don't have any investors because I actually haven't found any engineers yet. Until I get down to Ohio State is when I'm going to begin to open up this venture and begin to pursue this. In the next 10 years, where would I, open up? Where would I have the headquarters of the tech company? More than likely, I'm probably going to think about Silicon Valley and that area. However, Columbus is another area, and maybe even Cleveland, Ohio. But I can't predict that right now in the foreseeable future. All I can predict right now is creating the first great product. And one product at a time will bring one revelation at a time.
Okay. Yeah. Thing about being, in your 40s, you just get brain cramps and just...
I disagree with that, though.
Yeah.
I think being in your 40s... You can also be ridiculous.
There's something you said that just that struck me. It came back to me. 22 years old, and you're gonna be sitting in front of people who are, our age or older, who are, potential investors. Do you think your age, your vision's there, and you could express it, but do you think right now at 22 that's a hindrance more than a helpful? Or the youthful exuberance is what's going to win it over?
Well, I always, when I look at, some of the greatest business leaders and innovators in our world, they've always had sort of like that exuberant, high energy and kind of enthusiasm about the things that they want to do. And enthusiasm is what really drives great products, is what really drives great ideals. And I think my energy will attract a lot of investors because I'm excited and I believe in what we're going to do, and I know we're going to do what we're going to do. And I'm going to show them the vision. And when they see the vision, they're going to see the art inside the vision, and they're going to believe. And absolutely, I don't think my age is any hindrance. I would like to say that I have lived as long as I have at only 22 years old to try to be beyond 22 years old, to try to see beyond a 22-year-old's mind. And that, I think, was where I can connect with older people.
And you have. I mean, just here is just like, I haven't heard anyone, be as articulate as you have, and to be able to express everything. We were kind of like, okay, we're not really techie people, but how you expressed it was like, okay, now I see it. Now I understand it. Now I get, I know there's a lot I don't really understand, but for the general purpose, I get it. How everything just through, like you said, evolution. Going from a keyboard, I mean, you have the old-fashioned keyboard, now you have the one that's just flat. Things are always changing. I mean, the cell phones used to be big square things. Now you get them inside the wristwatches. Now you can go online. Everything's always evolving.
Correct.
And why not the technology field? Why not computers? And why not the way things are stored? I mean, now we have terabytes that hold memory. Before, once you're out, you're out.
Yeah, and terabytes do hold an incredible amount of memory. Like I said, I don't know exactly how much, but I know it's almost near infinite. I mean, they're massive pieces of information that can be stored.
Yeah, Kimberly, any final questions?
No, I learned a lot.
Yeah, your eyes went. Yeah.
No, again, being over 40, it's interesting to hear such a dynamic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all. And that was an incredible thing you want to do, and all the best. And once things start rolling, you have a home here to come back and let people know what's going on.
Thanks, Russell. We'll probably make this studio here probably the best in the world. We're gonna really probably do some crazy advancements. It'll be a model for people who want to record music. It'll be pretty nuts. Right. Don't worry, I got you.
That means, Chris, you don't have to come in. You could just sit at home and just just think everything, and the show will run itself.
That'd be awesome.
So again, thank you. And keep us posted. Good luck at Cleveland State. I'm going down to Ohio State.
Yeah. Ohio State, right?
Thank you.
Good thing I didn't wear the shirt I normally wear. It's got a big yellow M on it. But that does it. Thank you, Kimberly.
Of course.
Thank you, Alden. This has been The Russell Reed Show. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, The Russell Reed Show, and follow us on Twitter. And if you missed this and want to catch it again, www.therussellreedshow.com or look for The Russell Reed Show on YouTube. Until next week, America. Talk to you later.
Yeah.